A new Suikoden mobile game has just been announced by Konami in a live stream, along with, frankly, a crazy amount of other stuff. People in chat were getting hyped that this was going to be a Suikoden 6 announcement, or remakes of 3 through 5, and personally I think it was pretty clear that this wasn't going to be that, but I would say it far exceeded my expectations of what I thought it was going to be, and I think short of an official Suikoden 6 announcement, this is about as big of a Suikoden revival as we could have hoped for. First thing they showed was a line of merch to accompany the HD remakes of Suikoden 1 and 2. And this was what we were all expecting. And personally, I thought that was all this live stream was going to be. I thought it was just going to be, hey, we're a couple of days out from the launch of the HD remakes of 1 and 2. Here's a bunch of merch. Get excited, everybody go out and buy our thing. I thought that was all this was going to be, a little bit of promo for the 1 and 2 remake. And it was so much more than that, like a crazy amount more than that. After they announced the merch line, which we all knew was coming, the next thing they announced was a Suikoden 2 anime series. We don't know much about it yet, basically all the footage of it that we have is this image, but it will tell the story of Suikoden 2, and presumably give the title character a bit of personality and, you know, dialogue. Then came what was, for me, the biggest announcement of the live stream, and that is a Suikoden mobile game called Suikoden Star Leap. Now, they were very clear that this will be taking place in the Suikoden world and will very much be canon, with some familiar faces making an appearance, but with a mostly new cast of characters. It will be set a couple of years before Suikoden 1 and will serve as a prequel. From what we can tell so far, it looks like the game will tell the story of the creation of the Liberation Army. They've said that the main character will be involved in the founding of the Liberation Army, and we do have several glimpses of a character that has all but confirmed to be Odessa, as well as Vicky, and these three lads. So obviously when they announced it was a mobile game, everyone in the chat was going, boo, gacha game, microtransactions, Konami classic bullshit. And that issue was sort of addressed. They said that there would be some gacha elements in it, but they hope it will be more of a side option for players and that the game will be playable without them. At the moment, it seems like the familiar faces we've been teased with will be available as party members via gacha, i.e. you'll have to pay for them. But the new cast and the core game will be playable without microtransactions, we think. And none of that I don't think is quite 100% confirmed yet, but we think that that's appears to be the case. So we're getting a new Suikoden game. It's not Suikoden 6, but it looks like it could be the first step towards it. Speaking of steps, this whole live stream was structured in terms of steps towards a revival of the series. And they were very clear that a revival of the series is what they're kind of aiming for. So step 1 is the HD remakes of 1 and 2. Step 2 is all of this, everything announced in this live stream, with a view to moving on to step 3, which they all but outright said would be a new mainline game. Like, they pretty much outlined that as their goal. If step 2 lands well, it's all contingent on how all of this new stuff that they're building in this step, how well it goes, how well it lands, how much hype they can gather around the series. The next things they announced were a Suikoden Star Leap manga, then, and this is wild, a stage production of Suikoden 1, with these confirmed cast members. Obviously, this is only showing in Japan, but still, absolutely crazy. Then the last thing they announced is a Suikoden concert at a symphony hall in Tokyo on the 5th of May. And there was also a scattering of other little bits throughout the live stream, like food and drink products in some line of cafes in Japan or something. But yeah, big headlines for me. 1, mobile game, Suikoden Star Leap. 2, Suikoden 2, anime series. And as I mentioned, they have all but confirmed the purpose of this is to push the Suikoden series as hard as they can to bring new fans to the series with a view to bringing the series back in earnest. All of these things are a big promotional effort for the series, and if it lands well and if they can build enough hype around it, the title that none of us ever thought we'd ever see could be a reality. And you know, I have a theory about why all of this is happening now. I think we owe pretty much all of it to the original creator of the series, Yoshitaka Murayama. He announced the Kickstarter for Eiyuden Chronicle a few years ago, and that became like the 3rd most backed video game Kickstarter ever. Huge hype around it, and then off the back of that, Konami announced the Suikoden 1 and 2 remakes, and if Murayama hadn't made Eiyuden Chronicle, I feel like we wouldn't be getting any of this out of Konami. I think that him making that game really gave Konami the kick and the realization that there is still a fandom out here. What a tragedy it is, though, that he is not here to see all of this. Murayama-san, thank you. But yeah, Konami have said that they're going to be making semi-regular updates on Suikoden, so I'll try and keep you all updated here. I'll be streaming the hell out of Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remakes over on my Twitch channel, and if you don't know, I speedrun Suikoden 1. I'm currently working on a reroute of my 108% category, so if that sounds like something you're interested in coming to watch, link in the description. Thanks, I'll keep you posted if we get any more news.